the world. We're gonna take on the world. Standing up tall, we gotta make it our own. No waiting around. Winners would never look down. No one can stop us, we got it. The future is right in our hands. Give it 100%. We gonna take on the world. Yeah, we gotta move. Speaking the truth. Yeah, paying our dues. We making the news. Yeah, we hitting the roof. No, we don't wanna lose. Climbing and shaking the walls. We gotta break all the rules. We're gonna take on the world. 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 We're gonna take on the world.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nilesh Mathure. I am one of the co-founders of Saastribe, and I'm excited today because today we have one of the founders of Neuron Writer. He is the founder of Neuron Writer, Pavel Sokolowski, with us. So please welcome Pavel, and we are looking forward to getting to know Neuron Writer, getting to know Pavel, and understand what this tool does. So, hello, Pavel. How are you doing today?
Hello. Fine, great. Thank you so much for having me here, and I'm really looking forward how we can do this live stream and explain community how they can optimize the content better, easier, faster using the Neuron Writer, and also we will do some intro for semantic SEO. So before we just even go for a product demo, I would like to do some kind of very short intro why the semantic SEO is so important and why they should really focus also on the content optimization, on the content quality as well, because that's something that Google is looking for and will look for in the future as well.
Okay,
So-
excellent. And before we get into that, Paolo, let me go ahead and share the screen, share the form which you had shared with me on Airtable, so people can go ahead and register. So guys, please stick around and make sure you register on this form. We're going to do a little bit differently. So Pavel has created a form on Airtable. I'm going to post the link. Make sure you're registered there so that we can draw your name. And then at the end of the live stream, we'll pick all the names and put them in a draw, and then do the draw for 3 codes of Neuron Writer. So welcome to ask any questions. Please keep it interactive. And let me post the link very quickly here. Pavel. So just give me 1 minute.
Oh, I see we have a chat. Yeah, yeah. That's something that I missed before, and now I see the small icon
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
right side. Yeah, yeah.
So let me post.
Very well, very well. So we have the form is really short. It's just your name and email, because it will be easier for us to give you the codes. So I will just send you the codes on your email. That will be the best option. Because last time when we did a giveaway on the Facebook,
Yes.
we still didn't find one person. So I know it's funny, but it's still missing this person. So we still have one code, which should be I mean, like, we should give it, but we don't know to who, to be honest. Yeah. Okay, here, yeah. Yeah. So if you just can go and register just your name, email address. If you are using Neuron Writer, just use the Neuron Writer email address. It will be easier than we just apply the code on your account.
Yes. So we have
Okay.
quite a few folks already who have joined, and then we will have more people join in as we, continue the session. So, hello, Amity. Hey, Lyle, how are you doing? So, I believe Jason is here as well, and there are a lot of stragglers, but we'll get them eventually. So, as we just get started,
Sure, sure.
we welcome to put your name down and your email, as Pavel mentioned, and then we'll put all those names in the draw, guys. So we're going to do this a little bit differently. So, Pavel, let me start with a few things before we get into the demo and getting to know Neuron Writer and get an overview. What is semantic SEO and why Neuron Writer? What made you develop a tool such as Neuron Writer?
Mm, yeah, so the history. So I was working with the large corporations as a SEO consultant. So I start with typically like everyone from affiliates, and then it was like, long story, 15 years or maybe even 20, something like this.
Yes.
And then I end up on the, as a typical consultancy work for corporates. And
Yeah.
in the corporates, they have a lot of content. I mean, like hundreds of thousands of pages. So I was doing the audits for something like 200,000 pages, yeah, because they have to be audited. And we have to understand what the corporate has, what they don't have, what is really performing well, what not. Because, of course, the main challenge here is to um, I would say give them some kind of opportunity in a long term and explain them if there is in the SEO or in general in the content a possibility to get the ROI, positive ROI from a content, from SEO.
Yes.
And it's always a budget question, yes? So if they have, for example, 100,000, whatever the currency is, if they have 100,000, it's very easy to just play with this 100,000 on the paid media because they have data straight. Yes, so after a week they understand, okay, from €1 we can have €3, and they will just say like, okay, it's a positive, we go for it. But with the content, it's much more difficult. So you have to do the audit, then you have to find out the best pieces, then you have to understand why they are the best, and so on and so on. And on the end, if you have a meeting with the CMO, because mostly you are meeting with the CMOs with in the corporate environment, then you have to really pull him somehow on your side and explain him why he has to spend, for example, 50,000 euro on the content and what on the end he will get from this content. So that was the start because we had a lot of data, we had that challenge, and we were working on some kind of automatization. So first, what we did, it was just automatization on, because I did everything in Excel, to be honest. Yes. So first, what we did some kind of automatization, and when we merge Excel files, it was Excel files from the scrapers, Google Search Console, and so on and so on. And then from this, we built up and up and up, and we just figure it out that even if we do whatever we like and it will be still based just on the Excel. It's still not enough. So we start to build some kind of semantical related databases when we try to understand the topical environment. Because, for example, it's easy to understand if you have a content, but it's not easy to understand if you don't have a content. So
Yes.
we try to build this topical map, I would say, topical maps,
Yes.
when we try to understand, okay, if you would like to be an expert in a niche. I was working mainly in fintech those times.
Yes.
Then, of course, you have to cover this, and this topic to be seen as an expert. Yes, so that was the beginning. We were working for on a tool which is still our main tool, which is called Contadu,
Yeah.
and this is an intelligence platform.
Okay.
But it's a tool, it's a product which is for for enterprise level and for big agencies when you have a content strategy and so on and so on. And we try to just market this product to, I would say, copywriters, to business owners, and so on.
Yes.
And we understood it's just too heavy,
Okay.
it's too many data, it's too many models, it
Yeah.
was just overloading. Yes, so then we came up with the idea, because for on the enterprise level it's okay, they know what they do. On the agency level it's also okay because they have the experts. But of course we would like to find a way how to really market the product to, I would say, SMBs, copywriters, and so on. So people which are not experts in the semantics, they are not even SEO experts, they are just like copywriters. They just like to do the job faster and
Okay.
more effective. Yes, and that was when we start with the neuron writer. And neuron writer is just a part of the Contadu, which is only the content editor. So we cut off one of the modules from a Contadu, and we mark it as a neuron writer. And that was the just basically the start of the neuron writer. And as we can see right now, it was a very good choice from our side, because we see that there is a market fit. So it's so easy, and it's so, I would say, the
Intuitive.
performance is so good. Yeah, intuitive. The performance is so good that we are seeing that it's much better for the audience that we try to market this big platform like a content intelligence platform. It's
Yes.
much easier for them to start with a small steps, like just the editor. Yes.
Yes. So
I
users
hope
gain
that's
from, so users sort of like gain from your years of expertise and the knowledge which you have gained within that domain, and you have culminated all that with a couple with like certain AI data, like data sets, your secret sauce, your own AI, and maybe you're using certain APIs, and somebody like a layman like me can use my content with the help of neuron writer and get a better SEO result, is what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We are using our own models,
Yes.
and yeah, I can later, if we have a Q&A, I can say a little bit more about it.
Yes.
Of course, we are using API, so we are buying the data, like the keyword volumes, CPC, and so on. That's something that we use. But the rest is just like our own algorithm, which are, we are calling them hybrid algorithms, because we have, on the one side we have a statistics, and on the other side we have a semantic. So it's more like vectorization of language. So this is the models that we use. But I have short mm, presentation where we can go through, when
Yes.
I will try to explain why the semantic SEO is so important, or why semantics are so important. And it's really, I mean, it's a basic setup, but you
Yes.
can also understand why we build the neuron in the way how we build the neuron, and also it will be easier to understand what will be I would say the most effective way of using neuron in the future.
Okay. Okay. And may I ask what type of APIs are you dependent on, and how big is your team? Are you the sole founder? Do you have multiple people in your team? Can you talk a little bit about that?
So we with Damien, who is a CTO, we are working already about 9 years together because we built. It's not our first product. We built
Yeah.
few products before,
Yes.
um, and we have 4 people in the team. I mean, for now, I prefer to keep the team small because we had already bigger team and we just cannot scale. Because if your team is bigger than the pizza, then for example, we cannot really work on the product because we have to keep doing the things which are not effective,
True.
like for example, teaching juniors and covering things. So right now we are just trying to cover everything, and when we cover everything, we will slowly scale up. But it's not really our goal to build a team, to be
Yes.
honest. Yes, so
Ye-
it's not something that we are going to do.
Yes.
Our goal is to build a high quality product with, I would say, maybe not a data driven way, because the data driven way has to be built into the product. Yes, but you do, sometimes you have a solopreneurs which are
Yeah.
building really good products. Yes, so we
Yes.
are more building the product than the company, and I believe that will be also good output on the end, because we are really product focused. Yes, so we are not really focusing on the investors or building the company on anything. We are just focusing on the product right now.
Okay. Yeah. And in terms of your small team, what is your role, Paul? Like, are you one of the developers itself? Do you work mostly on the business side of things, marketing? What's your role within the company?
So right now I work mostly on the company level, marketing level, partners, and so on. So I used to be a developer, but right now, well, I would say I do not really develop anything. So the main part of the development is the Damien it's responsible for. We have some hands on the deck, I would say, which are helping us with the language models, with NLGs, like language generation, and so on and so on. But yeah, but it's not a core, I would say. So the core is just like 3 4 persons, and mainly those persons which are, as you can see, on the Facebook, it's mainly me and Damian, but we also have persons which are like looking for leads, looking for possible cooperations for events, and so on and so on. So we have Anna in team, and Isabel.
Okay.
And they're mainly building, I would say, building the opportunity, the partnership opportunities for us.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. So we have a few more people joining in. So Dinesh is here. Hi, Dinesh. Ernatso is here. I think we have quite a few people watching in actually. June Low is here. Hi, June. If you haven't watched June's live streams, please go ahead and check it out as well. She has some excellent live streams and content. So thanks, June, for tuning in and giving us a like here on the video. So moving on to the platform itself. Now there are similar platforms in terms of there are some incumbents in that particular space. How is Neuron Writer different, and what were you seeing in some of those probably tools, or what made, like, how does Neuron Writer differentiate to some of the incumbents out there?
Oh, well, so to be honest, we built Neuron Writer somewhere on the end of 2019. So as you can see, it's a 3 years old as a product, yes.
Yes,
But
yes,
as I just said, we market this as a content intelligence platform. Mainly, we were looking for customers which are enterprise level customers. So, for example, we have a Decathlon, we have IKEA, and so on and so on. So, just big customers.
yeah, very good.
Um, and that was our goal. I mean, our goal was mainly a strategy, and this what was the editor. Of course, editor was built again straight with some kind of understanding that if you are working on a corporate level, like I was working on the corporate level, I had some corporates when we have content in 10 languages. So it was already, I would say that was already, we already understood that it has to be language independent. And also we did a lot of, I would say, quality checks, how to build language models that they will really serve, I would say maybe not each language, but most of the languages in the world. Yes, so we have some languages which we could improve, but
Yes.
mainly for the most of the languages, it's working quite well. So we figured out this how this should works, and I believe it's working very well. So the feedback that we have, it's a very good feedback.
And how many languages are
For the
there?
we mentioned 170 plus, but I believe we have something like 190. But
Wow.
not all the languages are equal. I mean, not language models are equal because we have six pillars on every language models. So there are some languages we just have, for example, two. And when we see that there is a demand on the market, so we do something like a weekly checks, how many users we have per language. And when we see that there is a demand for a specific language, so the users are trying to do something in specific language, then we invest our time and we implement better models. Yes, so this is what we do. Yeah, and for the basic, for the six pillars, I believe we have something like 30, maybe 40 languages which are like complete. And one of the pillars is, for example, grammar on the language, so we understand the models, we understand the terms, we have some kind of semantic also understanding, like good, well, and great is the same in for example in English. So on the end you can use any of these words to describe the same, because they are just synonyms. So we have this kind of models which
Yes.
are really helpful for the copywriters, because I don't really know all the tools. I mean, like, I don't really know them, yes. But from this, what I know, the mostly the tools are working just on the statistical model. So they just give you something like write three times this form, like for example, running, and
Yes.
write one time this form, which is run. For us, run and running is the same. Yeah,
Yes.
and for Google too. So we
Yes.
will tell you like write four times run or running or runner or whatever you like. Yes, just
Yes.
the meaning has to be the same. So this is what we do, and I think this is the biggest opportunity for the end customers, because they are not really into the mode when they have to rewrite the text to be efficient with the tool. We just count, you can just write it, and if you just use this form or different form, it doesn't matter, because we just have correct the system will find the correct way to give you the points for a specific term. So I believe this is very, very useful. It's quite accurate. We also you can choose from top 30. So most of the competitors are using top 10. There are some competitors which are using top 20. In We are using top 30. So just to be clear how this goes, we scrape, of course, the SERP results for the specific query, and then we scrape also the top 30 results for this specific query, yes, from Google.
Okay.
And then you can choose which results are really fit into your intent, because that could be like sometimes the intent is very strong. And for example, you can have only the blog post when you, for example, ask something like, what are the best running shoes? Then mainly you will have landing pages comparing the different running shoes, and that will be the blog pages comparing those. Sometimes it's unclear, and sometimes it's just only the e-shops or e-commerce. So if you ask for a product name or a product name for a variant or a price, you will have some product landing pages. So as Google, you have that's something that I will anyway mention on the during the presentation. You have three main elements which are very important for Google. The
Yes.
first one is understanding the user intent, what the user would like to achieve during this micro moment. So This is first one. The second one is type of the document that typically fulfill this intent. So if the people are searching for a product like Adidas, Google already understand that the best will be to display them a category page when they can choose one of the Adidas shoes, and they can browse the Adidas shoes and so on and so on. They know this from the behavioral signals. And the third one is the quality of the document and its context of the document. So there are three pillars, the three main pillars that you have to understand. And of
Yes.
course, the neuron is built according to those pillars. So then when you are searching for something, then we give you 30 opportunities to really choose from, to align this, what you would like to communicate, with this, what is in the Google. So you can choose from top 30, for example, you can choose seven, the best ones, which have the same type. For example, they are category pages. And then you just compare apple to apples, not apple to whatever is there. Yes.
Yes.
And this also give you a big opportunity, according to other systems which just give you, for example, titles or something like that. Yes, so I believe this is quite well. Also, we are seeing that it's working. It's just working. So
Very cool. And just out of curiosity, and maybe for some of the audience as well, when you perfect, say, a particular language model, right? Like, do you have to work with some of the language experts, or how does that work?
to be honest, yes,
Yeah. Okay.
we do not really work with the language expert. We try to work with the natives, and this is why we have these checks, because then we understand who tried to use the language, and then we reach this person and we try to cooperate with this person, what he would like to achieve, he or she, how the results are, it's good or bad, how we can improve them, and so on and so on. So we try to reach really to the users, which are like early adopters
Yeah.
on the language models, and then we improve the model with the early adopters. So we don't really look for, I don't know, right now we are working on Vietnamese. So we don't really like a look before that. We understand that the Vietnamese language is not perfect yet. So we
Yes.
are not really reaching people from Vietnam and then pull them somewhere and so on. It's we cannot do this for 170 languages. Yes,
Yeah.
then you have to, you have to have 170 people
For sure.
on the deck. So
Yeah.
we are just like, when we see that there is a demand, we reach the person and then we scale. Yes. And I would say it's working. It's working the way how we build the language models. It's working quite efficient.
Okay, excellent. So, how about I love that you being so transparent, and I mean, there is a lot to learn from what you have shared so far. Why don't we get into getting an overview, and then we'll follow up with some additional questions and talk more about Neuron Writer. Do you want to share your screen, Pavel? And
Yeah, sure. So I will share my screen. I will, as we spoke, I will do some quick intro about the semantic SEO, and then we go for a short product demo, and we will have a Q&A.
yes, very much looking forward to it. Okay. There.
Mm,
Okay.
a part of English, do NLP and AI writer work both in other languages too? Yes, they work in other languages, not in every language the same, but yes, they work with other languages as well. We, for the AI, for NLG, for the AI, we are basically have a problem like every AI tool, because you are depend on something which is called yeah, I will for Q&A. Let's
Okay.
do that because
Okay.
it's going to be long. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Yeah, I hope so.
Yes, I do see your screen, and people can see it too.
Yeah, so it's like intro updates. Okay, so short agenda, why, quick start, and Q&A. So first of all, why you should use it, because it's working. So this is one of our early Absolute customers who just bought a product and do a one-page optimization, and just like one day, in after one day, just
Yes,
content was indexed, and he has a 60% of traffic more in one day,
that's pretty cool.
because it was an affiliate website. he was selling some kind of yeah, I shouldn't say, but some kind of stuff. Yes, like AGD, some like things for home, and he just optimized the main page, and it was enough. I mean, it was enough, and this is how, as you can see, how the content, enriched content, was treated by Google. So Google understand, okay, this is the trustworthy content. We will promote this content to our users.
So
Then we
that
have
brings,
another example from, yeah.
so sorry to interrupt, but that does bring it into another part of the conversation, right? How do you see Google? Because now everybody has a very powerful tool, set of tools, and they're going to use those tools to optimize and enhance their content to be ranked, right? And of course, Google
Mhm.
has its own AI to detect it. There has been a lot of talk around Google's policies around AI specific generated content and things of that nature. How do you
So
think
maybe
the sites are going to be
keep this
affected?
for the Q. Mhm. Can we keep this Q for Q&A, because
Sure.
NLG generation is something else. I can
Yes.
explain you why we are trying not to do full article generation with the NLP also as
Ex-
well.
Excellent.
But yeah, but for now, in this presentation, you will see exactly how Google really render the website and how they do the document scoring and so on and so on. So
Fantastic.
the first part will be there. So you
Yes.
will understand what they are expecting in the document. And
Yes.
then also I will explain you in the Q&A why the NLG don't deliver this yet. Yeah, because NLG don't really deliver something what it's call it in Google as a knowledge gap, because it's just rendering all the time the same content. So okay, so the next success story, the people from Zwierzaki.pl, it's a Polish website. They just start to use another tool. Then they switch to Contadu, which is just basically Neuron. So they do the optimization in Neuron Writer, and in 1 year they build a service which has a 1 million users from zero to a 1 year. They are very effective. So they are writing about 2,000 articles per month in the tool. And this is the Catalan case study. So they just optimized the snowboard jackets category description, and they have a 42% growth in the traffic from this category. So it was something like, I don't know, 2-3 hours of work with just optimizing the content, and they straight have more sales. Because about the sales we don't know, because we don't have access to the sales data. We have access to the Google Search Console data, and that we know it how this works for them. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, it's working. If you just invest few minutes, maybe 20, maybe 40, it's like with when you learn anything, I don't know, push-ups, language, whatever, just 20 minutes per day sometimes will be enough. So it's the same here. If you just do 20 minutes per day on content optimization with a tool, it will be enough. Okay, and how Google understand your content? So of course they have a very, I would say, basic elements where they can understand if this what you are saying fits to this what the user are looking for. Yes. So it's very simple, like here, no, yes, it's mentioned, it's not mentioned, and so on. And just to be on the same page, what is the, because we are talking about the NLP also, the NLP was in the questions here. So what is NLP, NLU, and NLG? Just to have a clarification. So NLP is just everything what is related to language processing. So it's just, basically taking the human language and make from a human language a machine understanding of this language. So from a language to maybe the vectors or the numbers, whatever. Yes. Then you have NLU, which is understanding what is there in those numbers and the relation between those entities, numbers, and so on. So processing it just to understand what is in the sentence, what is in sentence. Understanding it's like, okay, Washington and the president, they are close to each other. And Washington can be a city, can be a state, can be, I don't know, for example, the name and so on and so on. So this is the understanding. And then we have also NLG, which is like language generation. And it's not only the text generation, it's also voice generation. So for example, if Alexa talking to you, it's also language generation. And this is the end of the process. So first they have to process the language, then they have to understand the language, and then they have to generate the language. I mean the machines, yes. So if the machine would like to answer your question, they have to understand what you are asking for. They have to pre-process this with the finding the right answer, and then they have to generate the answer. So this is how this works. And as I already told you, we have three basic elements in this semantic ABC. So first one is the intent recognition, what you are asking for, what you need. The second one, how we should reply, what is the best form of replying. For example, if this should be a video or this should be a blog post. And the second one is the quality of the document. What kind of document we should propose you as a recommendation? Because Google don't really talk about the URLs, they are talking about the documents. So the document is like a page in a book, so it's a document for them. And then they have a type of the document. A type of the document could be like a video, PDF, text, and so on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you follow those three main pillars, you will have a very good behavioral signals. So people will like the content that you produce. And if they like the content that you produce, you will have the higher rankings. Because the goal of Google is that you have a high quality information. So Google thinks about a search engine as an expert. So they try to give you the expert advices, the expert, replies.
Yes.
And then if you are happy with it, you will come again to the Google. And of course, if you come again, there is a chance that you click on the ads and so on and so on. So the goal of Google is to bring the topical expertise to you. Yeah. So if you have even a dumb question, they will try to find the best answer to this question. And if you are really like the answer, you will come back again and again and again and again. And this is why they are trying to do. So they are really building something on the quality level, because if they give quality level, the people will come back to the Google search.
Yes.
Okay, so then those three pillars. What is user intent? So Google talks about the micro moments during the search session. So you can start searching for something like, where should I go for holiday? Then look for, I don't know, Mexico, then a hotel in the Mexico, how much it costs, flight duration, and so on and so on. That's are the micro moment. And the user intent during the session, it's something like a query, when you can speak a query or you type a query, what you would like to achieve in this specific micro moment. So the micro moment could be like a hotel in Mexico, name of the hotel reviews, and they will understand, okay, you need some kind of opinion reviews from other people. This is something what they call intent. Then we have intent mapping to the document. So they will understand your intent, and then they will try to map the documents that they have in the index to your intent. So people, every of us has a different vocabulary. We are asking differently. We are trying to speak to the, let's say, machines like Alexa in our human language. Sometimes even, with the sentences, not the keywords. So first, what they try to do, they try to understand what do you need. Yes, and this they call this intent boost factor. So boost factor is how good they understand what you would like to do. So if you would like to go for a hotel and the reviews, they understand, okay, you would like to read those reviews about the hotel. And the second element is how good the document fits into this intent. So they will understand, okay, we understand in for example, 70% that he would like to have a hotel reviews, and here is a document which fulfill this in 25%, and other one with 21, and other one with 20. So that's our documents which could be recommendations. So we will try to figure it out which recommendation should be first, but in general they will try to find recommendation for this specific query. But of course, as everyone is use a different language, they first what they have to do some kind of um, translation of your query into very basic entities or very basic language that will be sent to the machine, yes, because they try to simplify your query into something that the machine will understand. So they really cut everything what is not necessary, and the other things they are just changed into some kind of query to Google, to machine, yes. It's already in Google, yes. So as in this example, you can ask about cycling, cycle, bicycle, bike, biking. It doesn't matter. Your intent is the same. So they are trying to figure it out how they can enrich and simplify this query, and then they send the query to the machine. And then what they do next, they process your documents. So they try to do, because the intent is already understandable, so they understand the intent. They process your document, and it's also very simple. So I mean, everything there is simple because this is based on the statistics mainly. Yes, so they have raw text, and then they pull the sentences from the raw text, and they do the tokens, and the token is a part of the segment. Could be, for example, tokens could be sentences. Then they get a speech tagging, like okay, what is what. Then they have an entity detection, like this is a Washington, it's a president. And on later, on the, I will say on the end of semantical relations, they build something what is relation detection and the entity, like topical entity environment, I would say so. Or so it's like your topical map. We call this topical map, but this is like all the relations in specific topic, yes.
Okay.
So this is what they do according to the document processing. So they understand, first of all, what you need, they understand what is in the document, and this what they do later, and we already mentioned this, they try to map your query into the best documents based mainly on the tokens, because Google don't really keep your documents in the database. They just keep very simple part of your document, which is something like a sidebar, for example, in the neuron writer. So they just have a small part of the document which they think is important for them, and all the rest is just strip it out. So they don't really keep everything what you need in this index, in the lexicon. Yes, they just keep the main part of your document when they have the mapping. Okay, and we have here this how this mapping looks like. So this is the part of the document what they have. So like tropical fish, so they have these entities, and they have also the information about how the specific entity is important for a document. So for example, 22% tropical fish. This is about a tropical fish.
Yes.
Tropical fish shop. And then on the other side, they have a query, and they also try to understand about what your query is. 9.9%, 10%, probably it's about tropical fish. And then they have this quality understanding, and they give the document scoring based on this. Yes, how the document fits into the specific intent. And then they built a recommendation engine. So the recommendation engine is just something when they understand what kind of documents should be recommended for the users which is asking for a specific query. So how they build this, and you can do this kind of challenge on your own as well. So they first what they do, they of course visit your website. Then they try to get a rich results from a text. So it's even before you have the semantical or NLP, whatever you call this. It's before the NLP engine it's even running. Yes, they just do here a very basic entities recognition. in the rich results. And then this what they have. They have, like, for example, that was a page about some kind of pods, instant pods, and they understand, okay, we have a text, we have a headers, we have products inside, we have authors, yes, as you can see here, author person Christine, next person Emily, when it was written, title, and so on and so on. It's a rich, really rich part of the rich results of the meta, indeed, because they try to really extract the metadata from a document, because this
Yes.
is the first part. So they really understand how good is the document. We are talking this year about authority of the author, because that will be something which will be used for NLG later as well. So if they understand that it was written by the Christy Kellogg, they will really understand how Christy Kellogg writes, and it will be very easy to understand if this was really written by the expert or it was really written by the Christy, and not, for example, that Christy writes it with the AI. Yes, so that's something that they will very, very clearly see.
Interesting.
And then they, because that's just the metadata on the rich results, and then they do the specific NLP task on the content that they uh, pull or crawl from your page. So as you can see, this is a crawled and simplified text. And here you have like a product, so they recognize this is a product. They recognize, okay, this is a beginner cooking. It's already entity, yes. They have some kind of gallery here. You have a product, you have a receipt, and so on and so on. So they recognize a lot of entities inside the text, and that's something that also they try to pull into document. I would say, into document template, or just semantic coverage, like how good semantically this document is, what is inside, and how to understand the document type, to be honest. Yes, because this is where they understand the document type, because if they see there is a lot of products in the document, they will understand if we have 7 documents with a lot of products in them, and they are both, or all seven, they are working very well for a specific query, then of course they will understand that there is something what has to be done for the next document. So if you have the next document, they will just push next similar document for a similar query. So this is also open, yeah. So everything what I just said, it's open, and there is something that we don't know about. So how they do really the NLP on the Google side. So we have, of course, Google NLP. When we understand that there are some models which just understand the entities, but we don't know how those entities works on the document level. Nothing more than this what I just show you from perspective of Google patents. But we understand that it will be quite similar to this what we are seeing in the, for example, tools like Neuron Writer. In the sidebar, that they will have the statistical model and the semantical model, and they understand if you would like to have expert knowledge, or if they should give you the expert knowledge, this is the way how you should, I would say, proceed with your documents,
Yeah.
how you should create the documents to really prove the knowledge to Google first. Because if you prove the knowledge to Google, so you are going broad with the topic, it's not always about having a long article, it's more
Yes.
about having a rich article. Yeah, because it's more about the context, not the content itself.
Yes.
So you have a really good article about specific topic, and sometimes it could be even, I don't know, 2-3 paragraphs. If this is something like, if the shop is open today, and you have a smart document which will say something like, yeah, this shop it's open today, and today it's, I don't know, Saturday, and so on and so on, it will be enough. Sometimes it's enough to have a few sentences. It's just the alignment between the intent, the user intent, the document type, and this what you have on your website. And this what they do later. So we are here. So we have the intent, we have a document, and this what they do later. They just build from the documents that they have. They build something which is called SERP layout. So it's search engine result page layout. They understand, okay, this is the intent, this is the type of the documents that we have. Maybe we have ads, maybe we have something more like images or I don't know, videos because people likes it. So first they do a recommendation, then they have the result block. The result block, for example, is the video block. That's something also what they fill with the content. And later they just fill these blocks with the recommendations. And this is how this looks like. So on one side you have user intent with a movie, and on the other side you have a user intent with a product. Yes, and you can see the blocks, and you can see how those blocks are fitted into. And this is why this is super important to really understand the type of the content which can fulfill the specific intent. Because, for example, if you here is like best sci-fi movies 2019, for example, and if you produce something else, then so the best will be if you just have a movie, like a movie, even on your, because there's the second one, it's just a movie on your blog. But of course, it will be much better if you have a movie, if you have a video on your article. And if you are talking about the products, it will be much better if you have a product page or a product in your blog even, yes? Like, for example, like the best instant pots, yes? What are the best instant pots in 2020? And this what happens on the end. It's something which is called in Google rank modifier, because of course you can have a very good document. You can have a very good, it sometimes happens, or it often happens, you can have a very good domain, but the intent and the document, they just do not match, or there is no fit there. So even if you are using the keywords similar to the intent, you don't really fulfill the intent, yes? So this
Yes.
what they do later, they just have a behavioral signals, like
Yes.
how much time you spend, how many people browse it, how many people click before, after, and so on and so on. So they have the behavioral signals, and if the behavioral signals are against your content, even if your content, let's say, even if your content looks good and your domain is good, then you
Yes.
will see the effect, like you, for example, started on the page on the number, let's say 3, and you ended after 2-4 weeks on the number 8 or on the second page and so on. This means that you, for example, produce the document which is talking about, let's say, instant pots, but you didn't really cover this what should be there. Mainly, this is also the mismatch between the title of the document and also the document, the content of the document as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that will be the end. So they do the modification, and of course they display again the same results or different results as well. Okay, so if you have any kind of questions for this, let's do a short coverage of the questions, and then we go for a demo for a neuron, which will take also about 10 minutes, something like that.
Yes.
So I will just check
Yeah,
if
there's
we have
quite a few
questions.
comments. So let me read it out for you. I think you covered a
Okay.
few. Maybe some are related to the portion, but thank you for giving such a deep understanding of how actually Google interprets your sort of like information on your site and things like that. It's very important to understand that, based on which then you can optimize your article or content, right? So here is a comment, not necessarily related to what you just explained, but Peter Backman Dahlstrom, he's asking, are there restrictions on how many can use the tool? I mean, can team members share an account?
Yeah, there is no restrictions. So you can have as many users as you like. Right now, we are working. Today will be we will implement additional elements on the account sharing, because right now you can share a project, but you after today, after changes which will be visible today, you can share the project, but in the project you can just say like what the users can or can't do in the projects. Because right now we were, as I said, that was the neuron was just a product for a single copywriter or for a small SMB, and we understood that the demand will be to share it with your team, with your internal team. So, for example, if you have a web shop, your team is your colleagues which are working with you on the web shop. Yes. Now we are understanding that there is a lot of people which are buying the tool and they are willing to use external copywriters, and this is why we are adding extra, I would say, settings on the level of sharing. So that's something that you can do, but there is no limit right now.
Yeah, but sharing within acceptable usage kind of thing, right? Sharing between the team is okay. You don't want people to
you
start
can you
selling
can
some
share
ads
with
and stuff like that.
whoever you like. We don't care, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah. And how is that sustainable? Is that something very sustainable, Pavel? Like, because you incur a cost, right? Every time a user is using it, and you have a
No, to be
lifetime.
honest, not. It's we have a usage on the number of analyses, and we don't
Okay,
really care if there is a one users who do a 100 analysis or there is 100 users which do one analysis per user. This what it's a cost on our side. It just analyze because we have to, buy the data. We have to crawl Google. We have to keep our infrastructure going. So this is just a typical cost on the proxy level, on the environment level, on the data, third-party data level, and so on. But it's not really on the user level. Yes, so we don't
okay,
really care who is the initiator of the analyze.
got it. Okay. Okay. So Peter has a following comment to that. He's saying, awesome. Yes, real team features would be great. So yes, Peter, thanks for the comment and question here. Vivian Lowe, she's asking, so it works for product description too. So I think her question is like, would Neuron Writer be can be used for product description type of content?
Yeah, for any type of content which is visible in the search engine. So you can use it for, because yeah, maybe it will be the easiest if I do this on the live demo. But of course, if you are, it's mainly based not on this what you would like to achieve. It's more based on this what user would like to achieve according to the user intent. Yes. So for example, if you agree with your team that you are selling, let's say, a flowers or a specific flower, then you can figure it out. Okay, let's use, for example, flower name and try to create the content. And then you type the flower name in the Google. Yes. Let's say Diefenbachia. And then you understand, okay, if I just write Diefenbachia, the content, it's like, what is it? Yes, some kind of very generic, broad content. Yes. So if you are okay with this, yes, you can write a blog post about, or a more like a wiki page about what the Diefenbachia is. But if you would like to sell Diefenbachia, then of course you have to use another query. So your query will be like Diefenbachia, for example, price, or Diefenbachia near me, or Diefenbachia shop, or can I send it, or things like this. And then of course you will end on the product level pages, which will say like, okay, this is the web shop, this is the page about the Diefenbachia, this is the page about the product, let's say like a Diefenbachia options, reviews, I don't know, all this what could be related to the end of the funnel. And then of course you can optimize this content, and this is doesn't really matters if you are doing this for for a product level, for a category level. I just show you how, for example, here this is article, but of course Google will do the same. So Google understand that this is an article. I have it somewhere here. Blah, blah, blah. So here they understand that this is article. So they have news article type. But of course, if this is a product, they will understand this is a product. Yes. So it doesn't matter. You can even do the description for the YouTube. with this, because of course Google have very similar system for a Google for a YouTube. And if you do the right description for YouTube video, you will also have a higher chance to be recommended. Yeah, because your rich description will give a lot of information to Google ranking system in YouTube, and they will try to give you more information for. If you just look here, see receipt, then we have something like a product, then we have the exact deals, yes, and so on and so on. So they really try to receipts, they really try to understand what you have in your content, and it doesn't matter which content it is. If it's in the Google, you can optimize it.
Just a hypothetical question, Peter, for you.
Mhm.
So you have got this very deep understanding from your years and years of experience over probably 2 decades of how Google works, right? Let's say there's a following, there is a particular niche. 10 people are targeting that niche. They write an article. All 10 of them use Neuron Writer for the
Mhm.
guidance, right? How would Google decide which article they should rank?
Yeah, I believe this is the something that Google already understand.
Yeah.
They have noticed this, of course, not lately, but they noticed this a very very strong in 2021, like a year ago.
Yes.
They call this copycat, and it's basically the issue where the tools or the copywriters using the tools are just rewriting the content. So the problem is that
Yes.
Google, even in this document, Google says something like, if we understand that the top 10 documents are related to each other and they are the same in 80 or 90%, yeah,
Yes.
then they say like, if a user reads one of those documents, we can treat other documents as a read it too, because they already understand that those documents don't really bring anything new to the table.
Okay.
they they are calling this a knowledge gap, and they are also trying to figure it out how to find the documents which are bringing something new. So, for example, that was the case with the zwierzaki pearl that I told you, that
Yes.
when they grow from 0 to 1 million, yes, in a year. So they just build very, very specific template for every page that they have on the service, and they just fill this content, which was not just rewriting the content that already exists in the let's say top 10, but they just added something from themselves. So they added like interviews, just some kind of reviews from a users. They add something else. So it was just finding the way how we can make this content more attractive for the end users. And of course you can rewrite or you can just use the recommendations, but still you need to add something more from your expertise. And this is also why we do not really believe in this NLG content, because NLG content is even worse than generating the content from top 10 or top 20 or top 30, because the language models are old. So for example GPT-3 was yeah, so GPT-3 has information from 2019 in general, yes. So
Yes.
if you try to generate something newer than 2019, it's a issue. Yeah, so if you ask for I don't know, you have a new president, for example, in Greece, let's say, and you
Yes.
try to ask for a president in Greece, they will give you the old information, because the corpus that they learn on, it was old.
Yes.
And of course, Google already understand that there is a new president, because of course they have much bigger data sets, and they also see how the people are clicking on, yes, on the data set. So they don't even have to understand that there is a new president in Greece, but they will already understand the clicks and the entities relation between the president and the new name are much stronger, and those entities with the old president are much less important. Yes, so
Yes.
they will learn from our knowledge as a humans. And with the NLG, you just have a knowledge which was acquired from corpus, which is called common corpus, which is just a part of the internet, and it's a very static. And also, they don't really understand from where it was. So where is the source of the data? So the common corpus is just like entities which with the numbers inside and without the source. So for example, the the language model understands that I don't know that the let's say the Greece president name is X, but they don't know why. They don't know from where they know it. And this is something that it's a big challenge right now for all language models to also acquire the sources, to also understand if the source changed, and so on and so on. So right now, those models generate something, but for me, it's more like talking to the 5 years old kid when they sometimes they just say some kind of storytelling, not true, not really facts, and you have always do fact checking, and it's always low quality. So I mean, like, yeah, you can do this for, yeah, we are seeing the users which are selling the content like this. I'm okay with this. It's not my business model, but for my own blog post, for my own web shop, I don't really use NLG 100%. I can start paragraph in NLG. I can start something. I can feel something like I finish the sentence with NLG. But I'm not really fun to write the content in 100% or even 80% with the NLG, because we already have seen that all the NLG generated content is or will be, I would say, maybe not the indexed, but surely it will be it will be less. So Google has some kind of right now has some kind of extra parameter in the algorithm where they try to understand how much yeah how yeah so they just give some kind of scoring for the document if it was human generated or machine generated. And we are seeing this that those machine generated content, it's really not performing as well as it should. So if there is nothing better, then of course machine generated content still is visible in index. But really Google it's looking for something unique and for something better than this what machine can generate. I hope this is clear. Yes,
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
really a fan,
Very
and
clear.
I believe, yeah, I believe in few years it will be very difficult to Google to understand. But right now it's still like a 5 years old. Yes, so it's really a lot of storytelling and facts which are not facts. Yes.
Yes, yes. Let me thank you for explaining that again, Paul. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few comments here, display them. Heather is saying, "Hi guys, looking good. Thanks, Heather, for connecting me with Pavel. Really appreciate it, and thanks for joining the live stream as well." Lyle is asking, "Can it create a hook and then 5 points listicle?"
To be honest, I don't understand. I will check. What.
So he's like asking like can it like create like a hook type of like a question where and then create a 5 point like article like with a hook for the
Yeah,
user.
yeah. With NLG, yes, you can. You can.
Yeah.
So with NLG, I mean, like if you ask right question to NLG, you can really generate a lot of things. So it's the same like with the 5 years old kid. If you ask 5 years old kid, please do a list as a bullet points and list 5 elements in this bullet point list, it will do it. Yes. So you have to be very, very precise what you are asking for, and then mostly the NLG will do it. Mm, so I believe this is your answer, and this what we are sending to NLG. It's called prompt, and this prompt is sometimes it's really way longer. It's like 10 times longer than the output that you get. because we have to really explain very well to the NLG what should we get back. Yes. So, for example, you can ask NLG. Of course, this NLG that we have will not fulfill this, but if we have an NLG which will be uh, learned on, let's say, some kind of physics books. Yeah, so we have books about physics, and then you can ask the NLG, dear NLG, please tell me what is a black hole in the words of the Albert Einstein, in the way how Albert Einstein will explain this to the 5 years old kid, and it will do it. It will try to use the sentences from Albert Einstein. They will try to simplify those sentences so it will be understandable for the 5 years old. So this kind of prompt you have to send to the AI, to NLG, to have a real output. I hope this is clear.
Okay. Okay, so Aditya is saying, hi guys. Oh, seems like I missed quite a bit. Might catch the replay. Thanks, Aditya, for joining in. Corey is saying hi. And Cham Rivera is joining us on YouTube. Heather saying, this is so interesting. I feel like I'm having an SEO class. Yes, it is indeed an SEO class for sure. Definitely. And Paul, I appreciate you going into so much detail in explaining, how Google tries to analyze and understand and action the content, right? So now I think we're going to get into the neuron writer portion more. The panel is saying that's smart, very powerful tool, awesome tool. Thanks for all the lovely comments, guys. Dinesh Knight has a question. He's saying, in one account, how many codes can we add?
How many?
Codes can you stack? Like he's asking a stacking question.
Three. Three.
Three
For now,
codes.
three. Everybody asks for more, but to be honest, right now we would like to why three. Then I will just explain you why three, because we would like to understand what is the fair usage. We don't want to be in the place where we have to save the platform because somebody overused the platform. And this is only because of that. So we understand that something like, there are heavy users, they are using this, everything what they have. We are okay with this, but if we have, I don't know, unlimited, or if we have something like 1,000 analyzed per month, then we don't really want, at least now, we have a few thousand users already, so it's safe. I mean, it's stable, but we don't
Yes.
really want to have a problem that somebody's overusing the platform and other people which are just doing the daily job, they are affected by this. So it's only the safety measures on our side that we don't really allow more codes because we don't really want to have this overusage. I hope this is clear, and I hope you understand us. We just would like to have some kind of fair usage, and this is really, the platform is really for copywriters, not for heavy users, which are selling the content broad and so on and so on.
Makes
Okay,
sense. Makes sense.
demo.
Didn't watch from start, so maybe already said what GPT-3 model are being used.
Right now we are using DaVinci 2, but we will see what the future brings. We are not happy with DaVinci. We are happy with DaVinci like everyone in English, but if you think about other languages, it's a problem. So we are trying to figure it out what can be better. And I hope with the GPT-4, they will solve the multi-language problem. Because right now the quality, if you ask for even for a very, very, very broad questions in languages which are not popular, because the corpus model the corpus of the language that I just mentioned is built about 80% in this corpus that the GPT-3 learn on. It's English corpus. So it's just a part, I mean, like a very teeny parts when they can understand, for example, for example, Vietnamese, yes. So there is a very, very teeny part of the Vietnamese there in the corpus, like probably 0.5% of the language is a Vietnamese language on the corpus. So of course the knowledge of GPT-3, according to this, if you ask them for something in Vietnamese, it's just like, they don't know mostly anything. So we are hoping that there will be better language models. Google has the same problem, so everyone has the same problem: how to really build a universal model. And Google is covering this with something which is called MAM. They call this model. For me personally, it's not a model; it's more like an advanced algorithm, which is, I would say, steered by model. And this is what they would like to do. They would like to build a platform where they have a trustful sources, mostly in English, and they will just translate content ad hoc for you. So, for example, if you ask for a best recipe for, I don't know, sushi, and they will understand that the best recipe for sushi is in the Japanese, they
Yeah.
will just translate this Japanese recipe for sushi to English or Vietnamese or whatever. And that will be the end of the MAM, and that will be the very end of the SEO as we know it today. Of course, it not will be the death of the SEO, but it will be completely different SEO because they will use trustful sources and they will translate the content. So this means there is no traffic on the content which will be translated because they will just give a source as a source. So it will be just, yeah, this is the best receipt, and we take it from a page X. That will be this what you will get. It's already in the patents.
Interesting.
Something else, or we go for a demo. Yeah,
Yeah.
they will switch for it's every time they just get more and less organic traffic, more display, and they will go for a full display if they can. So it will be more a display engine than the search engine. Um,
Like four or five more interesting questions or comments, and then let's jump into the demo because we are
yeah, because
so
guys, I have time like 30 minutes more, and that's all. I have to jump to another call. So yeah,
yeah. Any idea when the deal ends, or does it depend on how many codes are sold?
we don't know. We don't know.
Okay.
Few
By
2 months at least.
Okay. By when, I'm going to read this question for you quickly here. By when will you be adding the feature of write more to continue writing in the flow? Just a suggestion, if you could allow selecting 1,000 plus characters for the write more feature, that would produce very good content.
This is something that we will try to cover with the new AI templates, but also you have to understand that if, for example, yeah, I will just explain how this works. If you, yeah, if you highlight 1,000 words, 1,000 words, to be clear, yes, you highlight 1,000 words, and then you have a prompt, and then you send this to the AI, and then you have the reply, which is 500 words. The words which are counted by GPT-3, it's 1,000 that you send, plus prompt, which is about 100, plus 500 output. So you will be charged 1,600 words. This is the charge on the GPT-3 level. So if you go broad, you pay more. So, for example, sometimes people are asked why I cannot really, I don't know, highlight all the article and then just click on the rewrite. Yes, this will cost you the all article as an input plus all article as an output. With the current quality of the GPT-3, we don't want to do it. We are looking for different ways. There is GPT-J, which are different tools are working with the GPT-J. Maybe that's something that we will take into the consideration, but still, I'm saying this all the time that our goal is not really build the best AI platform for content generation, because personally I don't really believe that this is something that in long term will give you the advantage. But we will really focus on this what was in the presentation. So how to build the best content, how to give the best quality information to the Google. We will also work on this what you have seen as this is more on the entity recognition level, or maybe this is more on the rich information, yes, rich information level. So like how Google understands your content, which is
Yes.
closely to this what you are seeing. So we will we will really give you information like please add this, please add this, please add this, because you will have a better chances to be that your content be really well understandable by Google. Yeah, so the Google will just understand your content better than the competitors.
Let's jump
Um,
into the overview, Paul, and then we can come into all these questions and for
yeah,
sure
because we
there's
have a
lots of
comment
lovely
still,
comments. Yeah.
and we also have a, we have also this concourse as well. So
Yeah.
there are some. Yeah, you see how many people we have. 31
Oh,
already.
excellent, excellent.
Very good, very good. Okay, so short demo, and I will try to cover during this short demo also your main question: what is the project? Because this is something that we really have to change somehow. I don't know how, but this is something that we really have to change. So for us, the project it's more like a folder where you keep all the information according to your analysis. So if you sometimes ask, okay, do I need more than one? Do I need more than 10? If you have a 10 website, it will be useful to have 10 projects. But if you're just a copywriter and you are writing for your customers, it doesn't really matter. So I will just take this one, the bamboo, whatever, bambiboo.eu. And as you can see here, we did some kind of analysis in Polish. Now I did an analyze in English. It doesn't really matter. You can do analyze because this what we analyze. We just analyze the Google results page. So the analysis that I did about the best instant pot, it was the analysis that was in the presentation and how to work with the analysis. So let's start from the beginning. So you just open, you can do this, the project, you can just write the URL here, but it could be dumb URL, it could be fake URL. It doesn't really matter. It only matters if you would like to have few examples later, but they will just really explain you when it matters. But in general, it doesn't matter. If you are a copywriter, it doesn't matter for you at all. It's only for the people who really owns the website. This could be important. So you just click on the new analysis, and then you have like let's say we can do analyzing some kind of language that we don't even understand. It doesn't matter. So let's say a content marketing. So as you can see, it's a bamboo.eu content marketing. We can just choose Netherlands, and the language will be Dutch. Doesn't matter. So the language, of course, we have here the language on the level of the project. So it's Polish, and the search engine it's English. It's Polish as well. It really doesn't matter. So you can do any kind of research in any project. Okay, and this is what happens right now. So it will be about a minute or something. We are querying the Google, 100 results in Google, and we are also going into top 30 results. So it's ready. This is what you have to do. You just open it. And the first what we are asking for choosing your competitors. And this is why we are asking for, because you have to choose the correct document type. This is very, very important. So the document type should really match to this what you would like to write. If this is wrong document type, this means that you have to change the query. You have to change the query. For example, here we have content marketing, and here you can see what is a content marketing and so on. Eight examples of the content marketing and so on. So you see blog. You can always also open to see what is it. Yeah, yeah. So you can really understand if the content that you would like to write has a chance to rank. Yeah. So if you are willing to sell a book about the content marketing, probably this is not a right query. Yeah. Probably you should do a query like content marketing book 2022, and then it will be a product there inside and some kind of reviews and so on and so on. So here this what you have. It's mainly information about the pages, which has a big chance to have this kind of high behavioral signals because Google just recommends them. So the intent, the type of the page, and the content of the page, it's, let's say, high quality. Of course, you can have a better quality, but this is what is the high quality. You can add few more if they are still like, what is the content marketing? What is the content marketing? what is the content marketing as well. So it's like the what is the good content marketing. So you can choose if there is something what you don't like, the content marketing tips. No, maybe definition, maybe not as well. So you just choose whatever you like and whatever it's really close to the type of the content that you would like to write, because the everything later is based on this what you choose here. And then you go next, and in during this time we are just generating more like filtering the information for you. So everything what you have in the sidebar, everything what you have in the recommendation tab, and everything what is here in the checklist, it's based on your competitors. If you like to change your competitors, you say, okay, it's really not, maybe I would like to add one page more, one page late, and so on. You can just make it here. And of course, later, everything will be just like, recalculated. And this, what you do for the first is something like, okay, you have to really understand if you have a content or if you don't have a content. So if you have a content, you can just import the content. So I will just take something like, I will just go for one of the competitors. Let's say
There's a
this one.
question here which might actually work in what you explain. How do you define same content or sentences? That's a question from Pamela. So,
What, wait a second, I have to see the question. What I defined what?
how do you define same content or sentences? So, like any type of like plagiarism or things. I think that's a question. So, how do you define?
Oh, I on this level I don't. So on this level I just say like, okay, if our goal is to write a content about, the blog post about the content marketing, then on this level I just trying to understand if the main pages in the top 30 are the pages which are blog posts, and this is only this what you have to do here. And of course, later you can also go and see like how many times you have, because this is something that we calculate already. Yes, so we calculate how many times you have a keyword in exact in the top 30, top 100. If there are any ads, if there are any other things, and we call this keyword difficulty, and we say like, okay, do you have a high chance or low chance for this topic? And this topic, of course, content marketing is difficult. Yes, so this is something what we do, but the first step when you choose your competitors, it's mainly about choosing the right type of content. Sometimes it's very easy because all the information, like in this case, all the informations are covered by the blogs, but sometimes the content is mixed. So sometimes if you ask, it could be a blog with the review, it could be a landing page, which is a category page, and so on and so on. So sometimes in Google don't really understand well your intent, or don't have a lot of documents which could fulfill your intent. There will be mix of different kind of results, and you can see this in the SERP results as well. Yes, so your goal is to choose really those which will be very similar to this what you would like to write. So if you don't know what is this, then you just open it, check it, and then again. Yeah? Because basically, if you would like to write a blog post about content marketing and you choose a category pages with the books inside, then of course the recommendation will be wrong, because maybe we can ask you to write about the ESBN number or whatever, yes, things like this, or cover, yeah,
Yes.
which is completely not really something that should be covered according to the marketing. What is content marketing blog? Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I will just open one. I already did it, I think so. I will just do it again. So we have a content marketing. So we'll just copy this one to explain you how this works when you import the text. So we can import the text, because let's say we have already content and we would like to import the content and just work on the content. Here we have a lot of options, doesn't matter. So we imported the content. So this is the content that we have. You have already the content score 41, and the content score It's based on elements which are in the checklist. So we understand what you have in title, what you have in description, and this will be, I think, in 2 3 weeks we will polish this part, and it will be really superb. But it's important because why this is important, because this is the beginning of your behavioral signals. So if you have a wrong title, if you have a wrong description, sometimes description and title as well, it's just rewritten by Google, but the initial part has to be really there. Then of course your chances for a click are low. So if you are writing about content marketing and you don't have a content marketing title, you don't have a content marketing in description, then your chances are lower that somebody will click on this content. Yes. So this is really important to start in the because the first snippet that people see is just a snippet in Google. So if you don't really use their right keywords and a catchy title, catchy description, it will be the chances that they will click are just low. You can have here the how the people cover this for the title, for the description, and so on. But of course, you have already title and description, and you have a content. And the content, I will just check H3s, H2s. So looks like they are using the right structure. And then what you have to do, you have to just write this content better. And it's the same like with any kind of school. You just have to fill the content with the right information. And it's not about being long. It's more about covering the facts and covering the important information. So it's more about the context than just a length of the article. And we have here two types of recommendations. So here you have the recommendations which are more like quantitative recommendations. So how many times you have to use the certain keyword, and so on and so on. And always I say to copywriters, please start with the extended part. An extended part is more like a, let's say, high school or university note. If you have a do the homework for the university, it's mainly this. And this is a basic school, so it's like really very, very basic. So if you start your homework and you start your homework with this keyword, extended keywords, of course, it will be much easier to fulfill those keywords from the basic part. It will be mainly fulfill itself. So if you are writing about the content marketing strategy, then you have to write about the content marketing, and so on and so on. Yes. So this is something that is very easy, and it's always I'm explaining this start from the extended, because sometimes they are starting with the basic, and then of course there is a little bit difficult later, because then you have a content marketing, and then you have like content marketing. Oh, uitbestanden. I don't have a clue what is this, but later you have to figure it out how to write this content. Yes. So of course it's much easier to start here and just use this first. Yes. So I just did it. Of course, it's here, and it's here one plus more. Yes. So this is something that's really, really useful. The second useful thing is to, maybe I will start here also, because here you have the headers, like, okay, H1, it's not there. It's not the H1. Okay, so probably like this will be better. Content marketing. Yeah, so you already see, yeah, we have already H1. There is also some terms missing in H2. This is something that you have to do. Today we will have also H3 here. We are waiting for, we will have an update in 20 minutes, something like this, just before my next presentation. So, okay, this is your document. You can see how many keywords you already covered. So they are highlighted here. And here you have the ideas. So what are people searching for? Of course, this is something that you can cover. What are your competitors' headers? Like H2, H3 already, you see there are some headers in H3. So you can of course use those headers. You can see how they use it. So what was the content, how they use it. So you can just enrich the content with with a more content as well. Yes, and your goal is of course to go into something like, I don't know, in this case it will be like 70, not more, because it's just about how efficient you can be as a copywriter. So we don't really advise to go to something like 98 if your competitors are like 57, 62, and so on. It's better to just go about 10, 50% above the competitors, and then publish, see how this works. If this works, then republish again and again and again. So it's more about small steps than one big step when you can, for example, do some kind of overkill. Yes, because you just over optimize articles. So always we probably will even have some kind of recommendation score. We don't have it now, but probably we will have. This is internal discussion when we discuss always if we should or not. Um, so yeah, so your goal is to write the content as good as you can, and of course you can use some kind of the content marketing here. Like for example, could we'll do like this. So you can use the AI as well to expand, rephrase, and so on. So it just expand. It's more like finish the sentence for me, or start the sentence, start the paragraph, and so on. So yeah, use it. As you can see, we can write in Dutch. Um, so so that's something that's working. It's working very well, I would say so even. But we just said that we have those kind of quantitative insights. So this is like a quantity, this is a quantity as well. And what about the quality? So the quality is more about how the document structure fulfill the intent. Because of course here what we are saying like, okay, in average the competitors that you choose are using 6 to 19 times the keyword content marketing. Yes, but well, if you use the content marketing on the beginning of the document or on the end of the document or in the middle document, it's a completely different story. If you use the content marketing in headers, it's a different story. Yes, so we also have to understand how to use the keywords in the right place, not only the right number, but also the right place. Yes.
Yes.
And then you can use the draft mode. So the draft mode give you the information about what you can write and what kind of keyword should be there. So I will just give you the example here. You can build whole document structure with the draft. So if you have a new document, you don't have any kind of, there is nothing there. You can just say like, okay, what it is, how this works, how it works again, whatever, I don't know, whatever. Yes, and as you can see here, we have terms which should be included in this header, and here as well, and here as well. And later, if you just copy this to the editor, of course we are just copy right now, we copied just few new sentences, few new chapters, sections. Then if you are using the content generation, then we have these keywords here. And this is what we send to AI. We are saying to the AI, or you can, of course, as a copywriter as well, maybe I will expand the note. Yeah. So you know exactly which keyword should be in this paragraph. It's very important because first of all, the quality of the document is higher. You have a higher chance on being visible in the passage indexing, because Google will understand that this what is in the header and your information structure is very, I would say, accurate, high. And also, if you generate the content, we will generate some content here. The prompt that we are sending to the AI, we are saying to the AI, hey AI, please create the content using the keywords that are in the note. Yes, and later, as you can see, the content will be keyword rich. Yes, so that are the keywords which were in the content note. So this is the part of the qualitative information. We will try also to do something. It's on our roadmap when we will give you the information what should be on the beginning of the document, like what kind of keyword should be visible in, let's say, top 100 words in your document, because this is also very important. Um, we don't really can prove this, but we see that Google really try to understand the information value by the information placement. So it's something, if something is above the fold, it's much more important than the things which are somewhere next to the footer. And that's something that we will try to also give you as a recommendation. Please use this, and this keywords as your entry point for an article. And of course, this is what you do. You just write the article. You are using this checklist. You can see, okay, meta description, the content marketing is not there. Okay, then I have to go there, and
Yes.
I have to do the content marketing, or maybe content marketing bureau institute, whatever is there. Yes, and then again the checklist. Okay, right. I have to go out. And then, oh, you see, it's okay, 73. Then you can understand, okay, we need more in the meta title, meta description. We need more terms. We need more extended terms. This is very important. We only have 36% of the extended terms. So then you have to go here. You see, just a big parts of the extended terms. If you think like this is something like my competitor keyword, I don't like it, this is not something that I would like to use, you just go here and exclude from suggestions, and then we don't count it as something what is needed. So if you don't like those keywords, you can just exclude them. If this is a single time, it's just for this one, you just exclude this from a single from a single analysis. But if this is, for example, your competitor name or a product name, then you can here make this as a negative keyword. And these negative keywords will go to project settings and will be not visible in any of your analysis in these projects. So this is something that is very useful, because then later, for example, if you are writing for Adidas, you will never ever see the models from a Nike, for example. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you choose a Nike as a competitor, the Nike as a product names, product brand names won't be visible here. I would say we have like 5 minutes. If you have any other questions, that let me know, and let's do the wheel of fortune, or whatever we call this. Let's go for it.
Yes. Yeah.
I will
So if you
send
can
it to
share
you.
the list with me, Pavel, so that I can
I'm
add
doing
it.
this. I'm doing this right now. Sorry for a spam, but I just sent it to you via
Okay. So
Facebook.
we
So
give users like 1 more minute, guys. If you haven't already, I've posted the link on YouTube as well as on Facebook chat a few times. So if you haven't already, go ahead and like do it now. Go ahead and register for the giveaway. Right. We're gonna draw 3 names for the Neuron Writer lifetime deal, and make sure if you are attending
okay,
the live stream,
okay.
make sure you're there, right? So, and
Mhm.
we'll take one question while we give time for people to do
Yeah.
that. Lots of good comments here. Thanks a lot for everyone who's joining on Facebook and on YouTube. Um, so let me see. Lots of really nice comments. There's one here from Vivian Lowe, which was a follow up to what we talked earlier. Building on to Nilesh's question, how similar would the content generated by Neuron Writer be if two different users start targeting the same keywords?
I would say it will. So first of all, if you choose the same competitors, then of course you have the same kind of recommendation. But if you choose 9 from a 10, and somebody else choose a different 9 from a 10, the recommendations will be different. So your score will be different as well. And this what will be, for example, in your headers will be different because you have a different competitors. So if you just assume that you choose exactly the same competitors, which probably it's not the case, and then you follow the guidelines, and you have, because normally you should use a different headers, so you should align the headers to this what you are willing to say. Then, first of all, you have to change the headers, you have to change the title, you have to change or write the better description and so on. And then you just fill the content fill the document with the content. And then I believe you are very, very safe. So this what we are hearing from users. It's like 99% plagiat shield proof. So we will have also some kind of plagiarism checker soon in Neuron. I don't know when exactly, and I don't know how we are going to charge the users for this, but surely we will have one. Um, so I believe this is something that it's not really a case. Yes, the problem will be when you are willing to not really rewrite the headers, and you will generate the content with the NLG. Because then, of course, if you just use the competitors' headers, you don't rewrite those headers. Uh, the chances that the content will be generated by the NLG are quite high. I mean, the same content. I mean, not even the same exactly word by word, but the context will be the same. So then Google will, of course, understand if you even do something like, because the NLG generation, of course, it's similar to something when you just paraphrase the content. It's still the same content, it's just the words are different, but the context is the same. It's about the same facts, it's about the same story, and so on. So later, of course, you produce a different content with the NLG, but the context is the same. So you don't really add anything extra. And and that will be an issue. So if you are just like trying to have a shortcut and just go bang 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 because NLG, and I don't really care about the content structure, this is a challenge for you, because even if this content will rank today, but probably in next months or years won't be ranked very well. But if you just do this as we try to push the users to use it, the NLG, like, just a starting point or an ending point, just like a helper, but you are still the content writer, not the NLG. It's a content writer, and you are operator of the buttons, but you are content writer. Then I think you are perfectly safe.
Okay.
Okay, let's close
Okay.
this. Let's
Yes.
close this. I will just do again because I saw that there was some kind of the duplicates, so I just removed the duplicates. But I'm okay.
If you can send it to
So
me,
yeah, I'm doing this right now. 40. So you have a high chance. And how much is your chance? It's 1 on 40 or 50-50. This is always a funny story.
okay, 1 second.
Okay, so I stopped sharing my screen because you will share your screen, yes, right now
Yes, I'm gonna go
for
ahead
this Wheel
and
of
share
Fortune.
my screen. So 1 second. All right. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. So I hope you guys can see my screen here, guys. I'm just gonna quickly read out the names. Thanks everyone for participating, all the lovely questions, comments, and for those who submitted the form on YouTube on our channel as well as on Facebook, guys. So we have Lyle, Garrett, Erensoa, Jack, Biswajit, Vivian Lowe, Noor, Peter Backman, Steve Bessler, Pamela, Ideas N, Dinesh Naik, Chris Sarangambir, Geraldine, Sylvain, Corey Sanders, Amit Parsuttam, Cham Rivera, Laksha, Ranveer Mehta, BL Samota, Rituraj Gill, Siddhi Bagre, Sam, Michelle, Yemi Aryo, Kamar, Swapnil, Abhishek, Ahmed Aman, Sirem, Unes, Abdul, Shansha, Jason Blake, Taif, Puspa, Navraj Subedi. Okay, so I've got you everyone here, and in case I've missed somebody, just let me know. But I think we're going to do the first spin now. Okay, so thank you for your generosity, Pavel, for doing this giveaway, and good luck to everyone. Okay, all right. All right. So
It's not really
it's
fast, yeah.
Jason Blake. Okay. Congratulations, Jason. So thanks for joining all our live streams and thanks for being such a valued member of the community. And congratulations on your win. I'm glad you won. So congratulations, Jason. Okay. What are you saying? Sorry, I missed that, Pavel. You were saying something?
No, it's already marked on my side.
Okay.
Next one.
All right. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So we're gonna move to the next one. Oh, did I remove Jason? Yes, I gotta remove Jason. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna move on to the next one. So good luck, everyone. It was a very insightful session, Paul. And we were initially going to do it for an hour, then an hour and a half, and 2 hours. And it seems like 2 hours is not enough, you know. So, but you do a lot of webinars yourself. I think you have a lot of content on your site on educating users. So again, congratulations, Abdul Rahman. So you're the second winner of the LTD for Neuron Writer. And thanks again, Pavel, for giving out LTD codes for the Neuron Writer lifetime deal. So, Abdul,
Wait,
I
wait,
guess,
wait. Okay, I have it. Okay. Yes, yeah. Yes, it's market. And to be honest, no, I don't do really a lot of webinars and so on because I just don't have time. But I know that it should be done better on our side, the communication and so on.
yeah, it will come over time. You know, things fall in place. So I think you're in the middle of a campaign. So, but I really enjoyed your insights today, and how, it was very educational to me, and I'm sure to all the users as well. So. And congratulations for developing such a wonderful tool. You know, so we're going to do the last spin for the last giveaway. So good luck, everyone, guys, and let's see who's the last lucky winner. I've kept spin time short as well due to the time constraint here. I know, Pavel, you have another session at 11 o'clock. I guess another meeting at
Yes. I have 6 minutes.
yes. So okay, so we're gonna get the next winner, and the next winner is
Corey.
Corey. Congratulations, Corey. So yay!
Okay.
So congratulations on winning Neuron Writer. With that, I will go ahead and so congratulations all
Okay.
the winners. Thank you everyone for participating and all the lovely questions and comments. Again, congrats to the winners. Good luck to everyone who didn't win this time for the next one. And Pavel was very insightful and riveting in terms of what you shared. Any last comments? Why people should use Neuron Writer before we let you go?
Well, you don't have to use, to be honest. I think you. So in 2 3 years, you have to use one of the tools which will give you the advantage on the competitors level, and will you will understand better the semantics. There are already some niches when everything is optimized with the tools like Neuron. I mean, like everything. There is like top 100 optimized to the level when all the content has a 80 plus score. So in general, I believe, yeah, there is no way, because this is something that Google will push harder on the on the sentiment level, on the semantical level, on just user needs understanding and how the machine can answer those needs, those intents. But of course, if you are really good in this what you are selling, if you have a very broad vocabulary and so on and so on, I think you can live without those tools. I believe you can, but it's much easier if you have the tool and you just do some kind of stuff like with typical tool, which will help you a little bit with the content creation process. And well, you have a trial, so you don't have to buy. You can just ask us for a trial, and it will be something that we will deliver for you. So so this is also something that you can just try and see if this fits for you and if it's helpful and so on. Just the closing, we will send those codes. I see that the core is not here. Doesn't matter. This is why we cover the email addresses in the form. So I will send in few hours because I have two more meetings, so 4 hours more or less.
No rush.
I will send those codes in to the winners, so you will be covered. So don't panic. You will get it
Yes.
today.
Yes, yes, you will get it, guys. So again, Paul, I appreciate uh, wonderful insights and love chatting with you as well. So all the best with Neuron Writer, and I'm sure we'll keep in touch. Maybe in a few months we'll do a follow up session as well, so where to see where things are. You know, I
That
would
will be
give it.
lovely. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
Okay, so thank you
okay.
so much. I
Have a
really have to
wonderful.
go. For the next one, we can always meet in 2 weeks or something. Really. Thank you so much, and
Thank
have a
you,
good day. Bye
thank you,
bye.
thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. So okay, just guys. So thanks again, guys, for everybody who participated and for all the comments. And congratulations to the winners. Please get in touch with Pavel, and we will do a couple more live sessions. I think we have just finalizing some dates over the weekend. We're going to do at least 3 to 4 every week because there's been some good tools, and there has also been a little bit of a we haven't done many in the last few months. So I'm looking forward to that. And with that, I also want to say that if you want to do a live stream, or if you have something which is related to what we are doing in Saastribe, I would welcome you to go ahead and stream and share your knowledge, right? So my only ask is produce your whatever you're doing, make sure you put a little bit of effort in that. It doesn't matter if you don't have the viewers today, you can gain views and share your channel or whatever that would be. But my only ask is, like, keep it professional, right? So thank you again, guys, and we will chat soon. So happy Friday and enjoy your weekend. Thanks a lot, guys.
We're gonna take on the world. We're gonna take on the world. Standing tall, we gotta make it our own. No waiting around. Winners would never look down. No one can stop us, we got it. The future is right in our hands. Give it 100%. We're gonna take on the world.